Hey everyone, my name is Christina Franks, and they asked me to share a little video devotion with you this week, so here I am. I found this cute little story in Bob Goff's new book called Dream Big, and I just thought that I would share this with you today and share some thoughts on it afterwards here. So let me read this. I was traveling in the Midwest and arrived at my hotel a little after 1 o'clock in the morning. It had been a long day and I was barely able to stay awake. I think the hotel attendant was in the same boat because it took him forever to retrieve my reservation and finally give me my room key. I curled up in a lobby armchair while I waited. Maybe I could squeeze in a few Z's. When I finally got my key and made it to the door of my room, I slipped inside and threw my bag on the bed. I fumbled around for the light switches, flipped on the lights, and to my absolute shock, discovered there was a woman in my room. She started screaming, "This is my room!" I looked at my key and said, "This is my room," as I backed up toward the door. I grabbed my bag and ran out of the room as fast as I could. I felt like Joseph. Suffices to say, I was wide awake by then and pretty miffed at the mistake the guy at the counter had made. I tried to control my frustration as I walked back to the desk, tossed the card key back at him, and asked if I could have a room that didn't already have a person sleeping in my bed. The guy looked up with glazed eyes and said, "Dude, sorry man," slipped me a new card key and went back to the game he was playing on his phone. Feeling less than reassured, I got to my second room of the early morning and thankfully had the room all to myself. These days, I'm a little more tentative whenever I walk into a hotel room. I'm sure you will be now too. I'm tempted to throw a flashbang grenade in first and yell something like "fire in the hole" before entering. Our experiences, both good and bad, shape us or scar us. Here's the point. As I've reflected on my ambitions, there have been countless times when I've told myself I've given Jesus the whole room, when what I've actually done is just emptied a couple of drawers or cleared off several inches of space in the closet for him to hang a few ideas in my life. The simple but difficult fact is, he wants the whole room and everything in it, including us. Many of us live like hoarders though, and there's not a lot of space left to give Jesus even if we wanted to. We won't be able to advance our worthwhile ambitions if our lives are already fully occupied. Think for a moment what you've filled your room with, both good and bad. Activities like careers or bowling or fly fishing, attitudes you've experienced like worry, anger, frustration, joy, or empathy. Some of these things are good and beautiful and lasting. Others are trespassers in your life. Jesus isn't going to be satisfied standing outside your door knocking while you're trying to tidy up before letting him in. God doesn't want us to invite him to sit quietly in a corner like a celebrity guest either. He's not our concierge or our butler, our muse, or our roommate. Jesus is a king who came to make a kingdom, but he's not going to try to build it on top of our stuff or all around our activities. If the room is full, we can invite him in all we want, but we should expect that he's more likely to do major renovations than just rearrange the furniture or provide us room service. If the room is already full, he'll just wait to come more fully into our lives when it isn't. Bob goes on to say, let's say you clear the room of everything and ask yourself, if I had to add one thing back to my life, what would it be? I thought that was a really good question, and it's actually a question that I've been asking myself a lot during this pandemic. When things, just started back in March, activities obviously were canceled, things were shut down, and our schedules were abruptly disrupted, and it really got me to think about how I spend my time, how my family spends our time, the things that we do during the week and on the weekends, and it really had me thinking about after this pandemic was over, what were the things that I wanted to add back to my life? What things did I want our family to be involved with again, and what things may need to go? I really hope that during this time you've been able to spend a lot of time with Jesus. I hope that you've spent a lot of time in prayer, and I hope you've spent a lot of time in your Bible. So it has been a little bittersweet to have kind of this unexpected disruption, and it's really been, I don't know, nice in my life to have some extra time to really spend with him and to just reevaluate things. So I hope that you can ask yourself this question and be thinking about the things that you want to add back to your life once this season in our world is over. Now I'll share with you why I'm filming this in my car. That was not by coincidence. I'm not hiding from the kids. But I will share with you that back in March when the pandemic started, I actually cleaned out my car. And it was actually funny timing, because ever since that time, I've been going to work, say during all of this every day. But the kids have all been at home. Say nobody's obviously been going to school or daycare or anything like that. So I found that I don't have as many people in my car on the daily. So I cleaned my car back in March, and it has shockingly stayed pretty clear back there. So if you know, I've got some little ones, and sometimes their feet don't always touch the floor. So now there are a few things, because the kids were here over the weekend, but let me assure you, this is much cleaner than the back seat normally looks on any given day or week, or during our everyday normal lives. So I just thought it was a funny visual to share with you, because let me assure you that when the kids do get in the car, I'm very picky about what they're adding to that back seat. So I'll just leave you at that funny, and I hope that you guys have some takeaways with this devotion, and just some things to think on here before things start getting really back to normal. So thanks again for staying with me for a few minutes here, and we'll see you real soon. Thanks so much.